What's up, night classes? Can we talk World War I? Not necessarily who caused it, but what caused it. There's a lot of great videos out there, so I'll try to be brief, and I just want to go over a very popular acronym that many teachers around the country use to help their students remember the ideologies and policies that create this mess, this horrible, embarrassing, inhumane war. Today we're not going to talk about who is to blame, we're going to talk about what is to blame. This changes the way we look at war. Let's get into it. So here's the acronym. If you have a paper, if you have a test, if you have an essay to write, one of the quick ways to organize your thoughts is the simple acronym MAIN. A lot of teachers use the acronym MAIN. M-A-I-N. M stands for militarism. It's kind of like, as we talked about Roosevelt, speak softly but carry a big stick. This was the belief that you could keep things under control, you can keep the peace if you have the biggest weapon. You have a bargaining chip that other people don't have. And countries try to amass large standing armies, they try to build weapons and technologies and continue researching, so they had the most, the best, the state-of-the-art army. But here's the problem with militarism. Yeah, it's like an armed peace. Yes, it does deter some problems, but when problems do arise that you can't avoid, it's hard to keep the destruction on a small scale because of how much everyone has. Secondly, taxpayers want to know what their taxes are going to, and the problem there is sometimes to support the amount of money they're putting in the military, some leaders are trying to find ways to use this big military. Let's use the military in conquest and imperialism. Let's use the military to keep the peace. Maybe I'll use the military and ideas would have to be created to justify the amount of money that they were spending on the military. Let's move on to A. A, alliances. Now, alliances are good. Business partners, great, especially if they work well. You've got the money, I've got the skill. Let's put it together and make a nice business. Neighbors that help shovel the drive together, that help cut the grass, or have agreements to do certain things or not do certain things. Alliances of all kinds have been beneficial throughout humanity. But this type of alliance, or any type of alliance, does come with a, warning label. Does come with a warning label of some kind. Europeans were not only connected by these alliances, but they even royalty married each other's family to keep royal bloodlines connected and etc. Countries allied themselves with other countries around them or in different portions of the continent to prevent war. It's like if you go out by yourself or you go out with a large group of people. It's the buddy system. When they tell young people about the buddy system, it's simply like a military peace alliance. Since we're going out together, it is less likely that people will harm us because it's a group that can defend each other. If you fight one, you fight everybody. Everybody's seen that smart mouth little boy at the park. Why is he so mean to all the other kids? Because big brother and big sister and cousin are around. This is what Europe tried to set up. If Russia and France are both allied, they can keep Germany in check because one's on the north and one's south of Germany. If country A and country B have a military alliance, or a blank check, as some people call it, we got your back whenever something goes down. It's a blank check. Anything can go down. They can call for your help whenever. Then other countries are going to be less likely to go to war because they know you have backup. And it won't be a small conflict, Spanish-American War. It's going to be a large conflict. So, just like a scuffle in a high school cafeteria, it starts with something very petty, and because of alliances, this country jumps in, this country jumps in, they think they need to, they feel loyalty to, and this small problem has just escalated into a very large, very angry scuffle. Destructive war. A lot of times could be imperialism, or it can be industrialization. I like industrialization, and the reason why is because industrialization kind of takes us in that direction. Yes, we can go backwards into the militarism. Industrialized countries were more militarized. Industrialized countries were military powers. They were able to move troops and move supplies. They had the latest technology. They had factories and machines that were able to pump out supplies, clothing, armaments of all types. That makes them a military powerhouse. Industrialization also created an abundance in many countries. Certain things were so plentiful and so easily made that I need to find new markets to sell this stuff. This encourages imperialism. I need to find new markets, but I also need to find a new source of the resources needed in these factories. Let me see if I can find it in Africa, in Asia, in Polynesia. And industrialization is not the full culprit, but it is in the timeline that makes imperialism so popular and lucrative. But on the other side, it also makes internationalism popular. And this is the modern way of avoiding wars. So we're not blaming industrialization, but industrialization is definitely a part of setting the stage for this crazy, huge, destructive, and sad world of. And last but not least, nationalism. Nationalism plays a role because as people are building these empires and maintaining these empires, especially Austria-Hungary, there are groups inside of it that want different levels of autonomy. We can govern ourselves. The pride that sometimes comes with nationalism, etc., stirs up feelings that create rifts in empires. And the starting event, the thing that sparks the fuse or starts rolling the snowball, so to speak, is a nationalist group who assassinates the Archduke Franz Ferdinand. And why did they do that? They simply wanted to stand for Serbian autonomy, independence, rid themselves of the influence of the Austria-Hungary Empire in areas that had Serbian people. People that speak the same language, people that are from the same area, people that have the same religion. These people a lot of times have a nationalistic bond to each other. It's almost like a brotherhood. They feel that they are close to each other. I mean, think about the things in our society. Think about the groups and the places in our society that call each other by family names. Of course, there's people who are actually related, but there are people in a fraternity, there are people who have the same religious beliefs, there are people who have the same political beliefs, and sometimes people from the same city. So nationalism, you have these people trying to break away from their empire. And you see in the Ottoman Empire, you see in the Austria-Hungary Empire, groups joining the fight simply to gain something. The big countries are fighting our imperial ruler. This is our chance to jump in and break away from the empire that we don't want to belong to anyways. Think about this. Can they stand up and fight by themselves, if this collection of people is only the size of a small American state against a big nation like France or Germany or Austria-Hungary? Probably not. But can they stand up to them while they're being attacked by other large countries? Good luck on your next test, or just being a lifelong learner. Any questions? Let me know in the comments. Always like, share, and subscribe. And we'll keep coming to you with excellent content, or best we could do.